said, brother, you have to quit your job. Huh? If I quit, I'm going to lose everything. Retirement, everything is out, and I'm too old to go start something else. Well, brother, that's haram, haram. Are you serious? Yeah. Wow, man, this is going to be tough. I have to get by on what my wife makes. Oh, what's your wife do? She don't drive a beer truck. What does she do? She just teaches piano into church. Oh, haram, haram. Music, haram, haram. You tell me my wife got to quit her job too? Yeah. Okay, that's great. How in the world are we going to pay these high mortgage payments? Mortgage? Haram, haram. And the next thing you're going to tell me that I can't even have credit cards. Haram, haram. Are you sure it's haram? Hey, look, I show you the verse. There's the ayah right there. It's in Surah Baqarah. Look. Allah declares war on these people. Oh my God, I don't want to be at war. I just got in this religion. Already God's mad at me. He hadn't even learned how to pray yet, right? And you got him out here putting his house on the market, turning his cars in, throwing his credit cards in the trash. And his wife scratching her head going, what happened? This must be some kind of like midlife crisis he's going through. And then who will teach him? Because in the same masjid, and I'm not going to say where, if it's not fair, it could happen any place. We go there and it's locked. There's nobody there. You go there for salah, it's locked. You can't get in. So I prayed in front of the door of the masjid. The business I was in was music. I did give it alhamdulillah. But it wasn't easy. There was like no bridge. There was nowhere to go. And you're by yourself, because guess what? The other thing that I do is preach Christianity. Of course, it didn't sound very good when I started telling them Jesus is not the Son of God. It wasn't much fun for them to realize they're going to be accountable for their own sins. In fact, some of them got pretty mad at me. Some of them, one of my ex-friends, used to walk around carrying a big cross on the streets. He used to carry this big cross so people would stop and talk to him about Jesus. I'll never forget what he and his wife told me. He said, you got a demon! You got a demon! People have a misconception anyway. I was down in near Mexico where I used to preach right after I came into Islam. And I went and saw some families down there to talk to them about Islam. One elderly lady, very nice, wealthy, her and her husband had always been supportive of what we did. So I figured this would be a good couple to talk to. And she said, as soon as she saw me, she said, child, what are you doing? What's that beard for? Why you got those clothes like that? What happened to you? I said, well, I became a Muslim. She said, you can't be a Muslim. You're not from over there. I said, from where? Wherever they come from. By the way, I'm not making this up. This happened. And I'm looking at her like, okay, where do I go from here? So I thought of Bible verses that she'd be familiar with, and I started mentioning to her, we believe God is one, don't we? She said, of course we do. And we believe that God created the heavens and earth, don't we? She said, naturally we do. And don't you know that God put us here in a test? She said, sure. I said, and we worship God alone, right? She said, that's right. With no partner. She said, that's right. I'm hitting on it, you know? And I said, okay. And we should do what he wants us to do on his terms. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. That's a passage out of the Bible. Actually, it's in 2 places in the New Testament. And she said, that's right, that's right. I said, that's the meaning of Islam. She said, what? I said, you could be a Muslim. She said, child, I told you I'm not from over there. They stay with that mentality. So what is up to us? It's up to us to provide them with the correct information and a place to gather, to learn from qualified teachers what Islam is all about. September 11th last year was a turning point. Nothing will ever be the same again. And I think everybody pretty much understands that. Security is very strong in airports these days. I just went through several of them today. And I'll promise you, if you put a kufi on you're going to get a special little red S on your boarding pass. And it don't stand for sheikh. It stands for search. Alhamdulillah. But it's all right. Because guess what? Well, the guy's searching me down, I'm making dawah to him. That's right. Carry a CD or a tape, and you give it to him. In the airplane, same thing. Passengers sitting next to me, they're looking at me like, oh. If I move real fast, they get upset, you know. You look, achoo. And don't say Allahu Akbar. Don't do that. But what I'm telling you is that people are going to notice it. The ladies are the ones that got the biggest problem. You guys get away with murder. You don't have to wear a kufi. That's not Islam. You don't have to. If you like it, it's good. A lot of you are shaving off your beards. Not so good. But the ladies, they have to wear hijab. 2 ayahs in the Quran telling them they got to cover when they go out anyway. So they're the ones on the front line. That's not negative, though. You know why? You take all the reward. Because every time somebody sees the lady with this, they go, whoa, Muslims. And then they watch you and they see how you are. And they notice, well, wait a minute, this is not the picture that we're being taught by the news. I want them to keep on saying the lies. I want them to lie more. I want them to really get heavy on it. You know why? Because in today's paper, we had Jews and Christians defending Muslims. When I was in the airport, I saw several newspapers from several different cities, articles written by people saying, this is too much. That event that took place in Florida, where they took the 3 boys and held them for 17 hours, for what? For being medical students and stopped at a Howard Johnson's to eat. And some lady lost it and come up with a story. I have no problem believing that because it happened to me. I was on my way to New York and took my daughter up there during the summer for a special Muslim summer camp for kids. We got in the plane, and we're sitting there. Went through all the security, and I mean, we went through it. There's no part of my shoes that they don't know about. They're ready to close the door, and I have a little camera that I carry to take pictures for the internet. And I snapped a picture. The attendant went by and she looked at me and said, what's that? Because it does look different. It's a brand new Nikon. No, I'm not going to do any ads for Nikon. But she said, well, what are you going to do with it? I said, well, I took a picture. Of what? I said, that airplane over there. Why? I said, well, I think I'll just look at it later. That's all she said. Then she went up. By the way, I'm telling you, something is absolutely the way it happened. I watched it. She went up to the captain. He turned around, come out of the little room, the little, where he rides. Talked to her a minute, and then he went out of the airplane. A few minutes, a couple of guards come in there, and they started asking me questions. What do you have? I said, like what? Do you have a camera? I said, yeah. See? Are you taking pictures? I said, no. I did. It's against the law to take pictures in the airplane. I said, is there any sign that says that? Oh, you're trying to give us a hard time. I said, no, I'm asking you a question. I didn't see any sign. He said, we don't have to put a sign up for that. I said, oh, okay, well, whatever. He said, it's against the law. I said, okay, I understand you. I'm not going to take any pictures. Well, how come your tray table's down? I said, because I have a cup of coffee on it, and they didn't close the door yet, and they didn't tell us to put it up. Well, nobody else has their tray table down. I said, yeah, they do. Right over there, right over there, right over there, over here. That's it. You're going. Get out of the plane. Did you see any sense at all in what he said? Nothing. You know why? Because his brain's not there anymore. His emotions have taken over. All of them. So what happened? Threw me off the plane. But they told my daughter she could go ahead. Huh. Of course, I had to take her too. As soon as I got off the plane, though, they left. They walked away. I demanded to see the supervisor. When the supervisor came, immediately they come with apologies.